Now would actually be a good time to hit that subscribe button, which will help me to continue to post these videos. So, what is a true off-road caravan? A true off-road caravan is built from the ground up to handle rough terrain. Corrugations, ruts, creek crossings, cattle grids can be a real killer, and you must be able to travel at a reasonable speed, not slowly down a gravel driveway. Off-road, however, doesn't mean bush bashing. Hell, the van's too big for that, but it should be able to get you everywhere your vehicle can with due consideration to its size and weight. Look, it should be designed for sustainable off-grid living, and it must have a decent payload, for things like water and fuel, be it gas or diesel, plus the luxuries you deserve, and maybe even some toys. The chassis is the foundation, so a heavy-duty engineered chassis. The location of the suspension should represent the final layout, locating the axles to give the caravan correct weight distribution. Typically a 5mm steel, not light folded sections, and galvanizing is preferred, and preferably hot dipped, but Super or Duragel are better than painted, and even Raptor coat will need maintenance. Look, it needs to have reinforced cross members in all the stressed areas. It must be designed to flex without cracking, and it should meet the recommended safety factors for off-road caravans, as set out in the VSB1. In truth, most manufacturers don't know what that is. The fact is, if the chassis isn't right, well, nothing else really matters. With the suspension, it should be either coil or airbag, which is preferred. But there are plenty of options out there, and each has its own advantage and disadvantages. But I'm going to cover that topic in more detail on another future video. It must have decent travel height. It's got to be built to absorb corrugations and not bounce over them. Leaf springs, well, they're fine for road, but not ideal for serious off-road travel. The ground clearance, we need decent clearance. So no low-hanging plumbing, no hard plastic pipes that will shatter when stones hit it. The tanks and wiring must be of durable materials capable of handling the punishing conditions, travelling on rough terrain for huge distances. And of course, they need to be well protected. With body construction, a strong structure, composite panels or well-built aluminium frames are best. It must be designed to resist flex damage. The furniture attachment is part of the overall strength, but again, flex is important. A dust and water sealing is critical. Okay, so with water and dust protection, proper sealing systems. So any points of penetration that need to be sealed properly for pipes and wiring in particular. Reefers should be raised. The high set venting, a dust suppression system is a real good investment, and there's a few good ones out there I'm going to cover in a future episode. Now, if dust or water does get in, it's simply not good for off-road. Simple as that. So, what is semi-off-road? Well, semi-off-road is where things get a little bit, let's say, creative. I often joke and ask people, so what side of the caravan is on-road and which side is off-road? Truth is, I have an issue with the word semi. In my world, it can either do it or it can't. And semi introduces a word of ambiguity and complication, particularly if things go wrong. What it really means? Well, upgraded suspension, and still usually pretty basic, slightly higher clearance, maybe all-terrain tyres. Look, it's built for, really it's built for people that believe full off-road means bush bashing or believe it's going to save them money. So it seems to make sense. So you can do dirt roads at low speeds. You can go to caravan parks, unsealed roads, grassy areas, light corrugations, short term. But what it's not built for, it's not built for long corrugated tracks, remote outback travel, harsh terrain, thousands of kilometres of off-road use. It's certainly not made for off-grid use. Think of it like a lightweight SUV. If you've gotten this far, it's fair to ask for a like and hit that notification button. And please, I read every comment and I will respond. So please give us some comments. Now, how to spot a fake off-road. Well, this is where people get caught. You know, there are some red flags, and red flag number one is marketing over engineering, making it look like it's off-road. You know, big decals that say off-road, with aggressive styling, checker plate, no real structural upgrades, just hard plastic water pipes under the Caravan. That big chunky tyres, that's a particular pet hate of mine. It looks like a tank trying hard to be tough. Stickers don't make it off-road. Red flag number two is a lightweight chassis, often made of thin 3mm steel with exposed water tanks and plumbing, again hard plastic pipes. It has folded sections instead of engineered beams, cheap off-road couplings, lightweight safety chains, cheap jockey wheels. You know, they often look good on the showroom floor but fail in the outback. And red flag number three is off-road tyres. You know, basic leaf springs, not load carrying, or cheap independent coils that fail as soon as they are asked to go clean. Cheap shockers or none at all. Tyres don't make it off-road, the suspension and chassis does, and how it's built. Red flag number four is low-hanging components, water tanks exposed, pipes hanging low, and no real protection. You know, the first rock and your trip's over. Red flag number five is poor dust sealing. No pressure system. Gaps in doors or hatches. Vents that are low. You'll be eating dust for dinner. Now, really, I've spent over 25 years building off-road caravans. I've seen it all. And I can tell you this, a true off-road caravan costs more to build. It weighs more. And it's engineered differently from day one. It's made for off-grid living. And if it's cheap and says off-road, well, you need to start asking yourself some questions. Look, if you're planning to head off the beaten track, don't buy the sticker. Buy the engineering behind it. And if you're not sure what you're looking at, well, stick with me, because I'll show you exactly what to buy and what to avoid. Now, tip number one, and it plenty fall for this, the tyres on your Caravan aren't the same as on your car. They have a different purpose. They carry a heavy weight in a straight line, so they don't need traction, but they must have decent sidewall protection. And tip number two, look, we've all heard of KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Well, for the sake of off-road travelling, this is a golden rule. Look, just a short stop here to remind you to check out my other videos. At tip number three, I see this all the time and it's going to bite you. The force stabiliser legs are not for jacking or levelling your Caravan. Use them incorrectly and you can damage your Caravan and almost certainly the legs themselves. And my final tip, and this one is huge. Read the warranty, not the decals. Don't listen to the salesperson, not even the really nice ones. The fact is, if it's not 100% warranted for off-road use, it's not an off-road caravan. Try arguing the use when your semi-off caravan is a failure and prove it wasn't off-road. Look, remember, please like, comment and subscribe to Travels with Roy Wyss, because the wrong caravan can ruin your trip. But the right one? Well, that's freedom.